We have some late evening breaking news as it has been announced that 23XI Racing and Front Row Motorsports have refiled their motion for a preliminary injunction with new evidence. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to the video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty massive and major breaking news as it has been announced that 23XI Racing and Front Row Motorsports have refiled their motion for a preliminary injunction. According to Bob Pockers, 23XI and Front Row have refiled their motion for preliminary injunction. The new circumstances section is mostly redacted. They indicated they have 3 weeks to decide whether to close on the SHR charter purchase, and certain sponsors want assurance on sponsoring a chartered car. This is the evidence they need. Let's go back through everything so far we know at this time when it comes to the lawsuit. Currently, 23XI Racing and Front Row Motorsports are currently suing NASCAR on antitrust claims. Chris Yates is a lawyer for NASCAR, while Jeffrey Kessler, who's been in a lot of antitrust cases over the years in sports, he is involved with the teams. They originally filed for preliminary injunction a couple months ago. They had sued NASCAR. Then they filed originally for preliminary injunction, but they did not originally provide the evidence that they needed to go into the court case. Then they had their case, I believe, a couple weeks ago during championship week. On the Monday of championship week, they kept going back and forth with the letters and the evidence basically against each other, with NASCAR providing their side of things while the teams are providing their side of things as well. And then it continued on to Monday during championship week, where they had the court case for the preliminary injunction hearing. Unfortunately, on Friday during the State of Sport address, it was confirmed that the teams had lost their preliminary injunction case on the Friday after. Then they announced that they originally were going to appeal the preliminary injunction. But then we got the announcement that Riley Herbst will be joining 23XI Racing in 2025. They'll drive the third car full time, and they're open to also running a fourth car in 2025 as well, potentially for Corey Hamm and other drivers like Eric Almirola, something like that throughout the 2025 season. It's also been indicated that Zane Smith could also head to Front Row Motorsports full time in the 2025 season, but nothing is official or confirmed at this time. Then, basically, after the announcement of that day last Wednesday, they basically decided to go ahead and deny their motion for the appeal, and basically said that they were going to deny that appeal they originally were going to have, and now they've gotten to the point where they're going to refile for preliminary injunction once again. They're going to go back to the court, they're going to go back to the drawing board, and they will refile for preliminary injunction once again. It is unknown when the court dates are going to happen at this time, but basically it seems showing here, now they've got evidence to present. Remember, they were supposed to pick up both 23XI and Front Row Motorsports are, like I said, supposed to pick up at least one of the charters for 2025. Zane Smith will drive the third car most likely. There's rumors they could be running a part-time front row seat for 2025. Because originally with the original preliminary injunction filing that they had gone through, they didn't have any evidence to present here to show their side of things. Now they have the evidence to provide and back it up. Because now it's saying they have 3 weeks to basically assure it. That is really, really huge, and I think it could definitely help. Now, why do they want a preliminary injunction? Well, they want to be complete charter teams. Now, they are going to run as of now as open teams, but if they are granted that preliminary injunction for 2025, they'll be able to race as charter organizations, as 3 charter cars, and they're not going to have to worry about being open teams in 2025, and for both Front Row and 23XI Racing, so that the sponsors as well are not mad. Again, I do think that some of the sponsors for sure are wanting to make sure they're good to go to the Daytona 500. But if they don't get this preliminary injunction granted this time with it, that will mean that Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace, Riley Herbst, Zane Smith, Noah Gragson, and Todd Gilliam will all be competing for spots as open organizations at the Daytona 500. But there's also potential possibility, those outside of the potential possibility, that 23XI Racing could end up missing the Clash. Denny Hamlin said during championship week with the media that he did say that there is an outside chance that they could end up missing the Clash. Though if they were going to California for the LA Coliseum, I think there would be more likely chance of that potentially happening because they are at Bowman Gray Stadium this time around. I'm not exactly sure if they are going to do that. For me, and the reason they're also finalists is to try to get NASCAR to basically cave in, and they want them to open their books. It's one of the goals they've had is they want them to go ahead and open their books. And one thing NASCAR, especially with them not being a public company, with them being a private company, one thing they do not want to do is open up their books. And I think that's something that they're trying to play that leverage at this time. Again, we will probably get more court case information, and we're probably going to have more information on this coming very, very soon. For me, I think that NASCAR has provided a really good side to their things when it comes to preliminary injunction, but I also think the teams have also provided really good evidence as well. I think when it comes to this, for me, I really hope we can change the sport and make it better when it comes to money. Right now, the basically economy and the system in NASCAR when it comes to economics of the sport is not sustainable currently at the moment, especially for new teams wanting to get in. And we see this in the Xfinity Series right now. Guys like Chandler Smith, who are some of the most talented drivers in NASCAR to this day, can't find full-time rides because of funding. Same thing for Ryan Truex, for example, a guy who, in my opinion, should be racing full-time in NASCAR with how much talent he has. He can't find a full-time ride for 2025. And I think you look at some other teams that have also been gone. Stewart-Haas Racing, one of the reasons that they're no longer around anymore is because of the system and how much the charters cost, among other things. And Tony Stewart wanted to get out, and he isn't a big fan of the charter agreement. And he said it's a joke a couple weeks ago. And I think Tony Stewart isn't a fan of that because he wants to basically disassociate himself away from NASCAR completely, and he can't do that right now because of the charter stuff going on at this moment. For me, when I look at this situation heads on, I do think that both sides do have a case here. I do think 2011 and Front Row do provide a case on their side of things, and I do think that, of course, the NASCAR provides their own side to the case as well. What I'm hoping for at this point is both sides maybe could come to an agreement. I thought there may be a chance when they dropped the appeal that they were going to be looking at a settlement, but no, they're not. They don't have a settlement at this time, and I think they're going to provide that evidence. Again, they have a couple weeks to decide. They say have till the end of the year at this point because we only got about 4 weeks till the end of this year. And if they don't get this preliminary injunction granted, I think it will affect the team for 2025 in really, really big ways. Some of the sponsors could leave. We've also heard that, well, I don't think it's likely, especially if they're being this late in the game. We could see Tyler Reddick leave. And you think about Riley Herbst. I think a lot of that really is impacted if they can get the charter set for 2025. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in regards to the rest of the preliminary injunction with the lawsuit, Michael Jordan, among other things. But I think more information will come out in the coming weeks, and we'll see that coming really, really soon. So that is going to be tonight's major breaking news on the lawsuit. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your thoughts about the preliminary injunction? Let me your thoughts in the comments below. And what side do you think you're on? Do you think the team should be able to get the preliminary injunction or not? Let me your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple of days. We'll have an update on this preliminary injunction. Tony Breidinger once again. We'll have content this weekend as well. We're going to have a Thanksgiving Q&A dropping. We'll be talking about people like Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Haley Deegan, Connor Zilic, Shane Van Gisbergen, and I am doing a video on that. Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Connor Zilic, Junior Motorsports, you name it. On Friday, I will likely be doing my Junior Motorsports preview. I'll be having a video on teams that I could see joining the Cup Series in the future really soon. And I've got some other really fun and great content dropping really soon on the channel for you guys. Gonna be really excited to share that here coming soon. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.